Friends, this is NJ, your host on this channel. So we will continue our discussion on the headline. A quick recap of all what we have studied so far. So a general introduction of the lines. So you need to understand that the lines are basically formed due to three reasons. One is, as it is believed in spirituality, that the soul carries the karmas and the accumulated account of all the past life deeds. So that is the first reason, the account of your past life deeds. Second remains to be the genetics, what all traits a child inherits from his parents. Third remains to be the fetal environment which a mother gets during the time of the conception. So these are the three reasons which could be ascribed to the formation of the lines. Second is how these lines are get judged. So there are like four ways or four pillars on which these lines get judged. First remains to be the place from where the line in consideration is originating. Second is where that line into consideration is terminating. Third remains to be any branches which are coming into that main line, or any branches which that main line into consideration is branching out on other lines. And last is the presence of special symbols and signs. So we have discussed all of that, and we have also discussed the parameters on which we judge the quality of the line. So a clear and deep line is considered as the best. It would provide smooth flow of current and the energy in the hand. Second remains to be, the origin of the lines, the beginning of the headline. So we have discussed that the line, because you need to understand that the line gets its energy from the point where it is beginning. So the foundation. So let's say if the headline is originating from the Mount of Jupiter, so it would infuse and it would acquire all the positive, virtuous and righteous qualities of the Jupiter. Same ways, if the headline is originating from the inner mount of Mars, so it would just infuse all the qualities of the Mars, intense Mars, because this is our physical strength, this is our mental strength. Mount of Mars is divided into two parts. So this is the physical strength and this is the mental strength. So headline originating from here just makes someone too intense. And like the way you have also got to know that if the more the headline is close to the lifeline from the origin, the more timid a person would become, and the more the gap would remain between the lifeline at the headline at the origin, so the more outgoing the person would remain to be. And last thing about the shape of the line, we have also discussed that the straight line tells about someone having a very practical, level-headed approach towards life, and a curve, a gentle curve in the headline would make someone very imaginative and very gracious and very intuitive. So we have discussed all of that. In a nutshell, headline defines a person's intelligence. Its shape tells about your way of thinking, and its clarity tells about your concentration and focus abilities. And we have also discussed the so in a nutshell, it tells about your ability to comprehend, it tells about your memory, it tells about your ability to adapt to different circumstances. So in this part, we are going to discuss the signification of the different kind of defects. So what would remain to be the case when you will find these kind of defects on the headline. And you need to understand that when it comes to headline, studying these defects remain to be of paramount importance, because this line tells about your thinking, and any defect on here would definitely impact your way of thinking, your attitude, your approach towards life. So we will begin with the first kind of defect, which is the splits. So let's say any point of time you have found the headline to be splitting like this. So what is this is indicating is that the line is acting as an electric wire which is just allowing the current to pass through it. So it is just getting diverted. So energy is getting lost on the portions where you are finding these kind of splits. So you need to understand that any of those splits which are rising on the headline just tells about period of some good news, elation, happiness, and the split which is getting downwards. So these downward splits tell about period of disappointment, period of insecurity, period of fear. So in nutshell, when you need to study the splits on the headline, you first need to age the line. So at this point of time, because like the way in astrology, predictions are made on the basis of the dasha, the planetary dasha an individual is running. So same is the case with palmistry. We age the lines, and on that basis we make the prediction. So at this point of time, the rising lines would indicate period of happiness. Someone has got into a new job, someone has acquired a new hobby, period of happiness. And same ways the downward splits represents disappointments. So that remains to be the case with the splits. And in case if you'll find in someone's headline a consistent split, and that too on a specific intervals throughout on the headline. So this would just tell about someone having too much of wide range of mental and emotional troubles, and in the case of with along with other affliction, this could also make someone a typical maniac. So that remains to be the case with the splits on the headline. Second is our crossbar. So these are the crossbars, something like this. So the more light they are on the headline, the light would remain to be their effect. These crossbar indicate worries, mental challenges, they represent shock to the mind, headaches. So any point of time you'll find these crossbars light, so they would just indicate less intensity of worries. At any point of time you'll find these crossbars to be deeply marked, and when I say deep, it could be more deeper than the headline itself. So this would just indicate the severe mental problems. And when it comes to checking the state of the crossbar or any of the defect on the line which you are studying, you need to first understand that after where you have spotted that defect. So beyond that point, what is the condition of the line? So let's say if you have spotted some very negative sign on any particular line, and after where that sign has got spotted, the line is getting completely going invisible, or the line is getting completely deformed, so this would indicate severe trouble. That point of time and at that age you need to remain very cautious and very careful. So same is the case with crossbar. So let's say if you have found this kind of deeply formed crossbar and headline is ending on it, and at the same age, so let's say if this is the age of 38 years, so same age you will find the lifeline also going completely missing. So this would just indicate time of serious trouble. So this is how crossbar is decoded. So now is the next sign, which is sign of island. So islands remain to be something like this. So this is our headline, something like this, something like this. So island remains to be of a very severe concern, because island, wheresoever it is found, it represents confusion, a lack of ability to concentrate. So any point of time you'll find the symbol of island, defective symbol island on the headline. This would just indicate at that point of time person has lost his sight of comprehend things, to make accurate judgment of things, and take right decisions in the life, because island wheresoever is found on the hand, it just represents confusion. And if it is found specifically on the line which represents your comprehending skills, your ability to understand things, make rational decisions, so this would just going to make effect, hamper your thinking ability at that point of time. So you need to ace that line, and at that point of time you need to remain very careful and very watchful of all those decisions which you are making. So that remains to be the case with the sign of island. So let's say along with that, the next sign is of dot. So if any point of time, so and one more thing, when it comes to decoding these kind of symbol signs, any point of time you will also find any of the branch going from that island. You can also get a fair idea by studying and decoding that line, that what could be the reason of the lack of concentration, or which is the area where this person is very vulnerable. So let's say any point of time you have found this kind of branch line from that island on the headline going to the Mount of Mercury. So this would just indicate, because Mount of Mercury represents your business skills, your communication ability. So this could be a sign where this person is very much vulnerable towards taking wrong decisions in his business related skills, and any of the decision which could just make his business go vulnerable. So this is how analysis is done. If any point of time you have found any kind of branch line going to the ring finger, which represents your artistic and creative ability, which also represents your ability to attract fame and recognition. So at this point of time, this person would remain very vulnerable towards taking wrong decisions which could affect his public image. So this is how analysis is done. So next is the symbol of dots. So dots which is not considered good anywhere specifically in Hindu palmistry. So the only signification which would change would remain to be, let's say if you have found these dots to be colorful and deeply marked. So this would just tell about injury, mental trauma, mental breakdown, severe illness. And let's say if you have found these dots to be continuously present all over on the headline, so this would just tell about someone remaining too much of bogged down by the stress, nervousness, mental breakdown. So you need to strictly advise this person to do lots of meditation, remain in the greenery, inculcate healthy lifestyle, because that is the only reason why we study palmistry, because so that we can get to know about which all are the areas of vulnerability where we are mostly on the like we are too much of the vulnerable. So same is, if you are spotted at a particular time a symbol of dot on the headline, you need to age that line and you need to remain very watchful of your lifestyle. And let's say the whole headline is filled with the dots, that too deeply marked, so this would just indicate that this person requires very strictly to inculcate healthy lifestyle in order to keep all these problems related to stress, negativity and nervousness at bay. So that is remain to be the case with the symbol of dots. Next is a symbol of star. So like the way I always say in all my videos, star is a symbol which has two meanings. Either it is if it is well formed with a unified center and equally formed arms. So this is a well formed star. So this would represent illumination. So on a line which is representing our ability to understand things, ability to comprehend things, so this would just represent means illumination, enlightenment, too much of knowledge, gaining knowledge due to good deeds, having virtuous deeds, a mind filled with knowledge, filled of righteousness. And let's say if you have found this star to be deformed, so something like this, something like this, so this would just indicate explosion. And any point of time along with that, the presence of this sign of star, deformed star on the headline, the line is getting completely going missing or getting deformed after the point where you have spotted the star. So let's say this is the star which is very deformed, and after this point the line has gone completely missing, or line has got deformed, or line is changed formed. So this would just indicate that at this point of time this person is very vulnerable towards lack of energy, towards going remaining vulnerable to nervous breakdown. So this is how symbol of star gets decoded. Next is breaks. So what do I mean by break is, so this is an arch type case of break if you will find on the headline. So this would just represent all those people who remain very unstable, whether it's like there are people who remain very committed and they stick to their commitments. Their judgmental skills are being appreciated wheresoever they go, whether it's in their family, whether it's at work, whether among their family members. So whenever you will find a headline in a break form, so this would just indicate someone having lack of commitment, someone having lack of concentration ability, someone remaining too unstable. And in physical terms this could also indicate concussion and injury to head as well. So any point of time you'll find the break on the headline, that is not considered as good. And let's say in any point of time you have found the continuous persistent continuous breaks on the headline, so this would just indicate someone remaining too vulnerable towards headaches and hyper nervousness. So this remains to be the case with the breaks if found on the headline. And let's say any point of time when you have found the breaks and these breaks are preceded by any negative signs, let's say crossbar, or let's say symbol of dot, so this would remain to be of more concern, where you need to remain very watchful of this person's thinking ability, and monitoring this person, how much this person is projecting himself in the outside world, his thinking process. So that is the case with if you will find the breaks on the headline. So next is symbol of crossbar. So let's say like this, something like this. So a symbol of crossbar is not considered as good. It just represents mental disorder, problem related to thinking process, a problem related to brain. So any point of time, now the whole chemistry varies with wheresoever you have found the symbol of cross. So let's say if you have spotted the symbol of cross on next to, or let's say under on the headline and under the index finger, So this would just indicate that this person would remain very much vulnerable towards, a very a mind filled with deception. So because Mount of Jupiter represents your desire for respect, desire for power. So this person, his thinking process would remain to be so deformed that he want to rise the ladder, he want to rise to power by unfair means. So that is the case with, if you'll find the symbol of crossbar on the, or symbol of X bar under the index finger. So let's say next is the case if you have found the symbol of X bar under the middle finger. So this would just indicate, and what is what has been written in our Hindu Samudik Shastra is that this person would suffer from the inferiority complex, and this person is also vulnerable towards accident due to animals. So that's the case if you'll find the symbol of X bar under the middle finger. And let's say if you spotted this symbol of this is our X bar. So if you have spotted this symbol under the ring finger, so this would just indicate someone who would remain very vulnerable towards getting defamed due to his wrong thinking, due to his wrong actions as well. This also indicate fear due to heights. So this remains to be the case if you find a symbol of crossbar under the X bar under the ring finger. And let's say if you spotted this same sign under the little finger. So little finger, which tells about our business ability, it also tells about our mental, and it also tells about our sexuality. So this person would remain very much vulnerable towards taking wrong decisions in the matter of finance, in the matter of business, as well as very much this person would remain vulnerable towards having some sexual disorders. So this is how symbol of X bar gets decoded. And last is in the series of defects is the symbol of circle. So circle represents all these people in whose hand you have spotted this symbol of circle. So first thing which is going to definitely tell about is that this indicate, and you need to distinguish it from the defective dot. Dot is something different, circle is different. So any point of time you have spotted this symbol of circle on the headline, so it not only indicate instability, it also indicate problem of eyes as well. This person would remain very vulnerable towards not having very healthy and good relation with his mother. So this is what is written in our Samudik Shastra. And last in the series is we have discussed defects in detail. Next is studying the repair signs and the strengthening agents. So what do I mean by that? So self-repaired breaks means, let's say for example, this is your headline. So any point of time wherever this line is going missing, but at the same time some parallel line is taking place of it. So this is how we can just relate that this headline which is getting ended over here, but another parallel line has taken over that space. So this is an archetype case of self-repaired break. There was a break, but it was repaired by the presence of another line which is continuing on the path of headline. So the only twist comes because the area between the heartline and the headline and the headline is known as the quadrangle. It just tells about our ability to express ourselves, our emotions, our feelings. So any point of time, let's say this break has got repaired by the presence of another line. So the only twist comes in the form of where this line has formed, whether it has formed under the headline or it has formed over it. So let's say in those cases when this line will get self-repaired, but it has formed under the original line. So let's say over here, something like this. So this would just indicate that just because this quadrangle represents our ability to express our emotions, thus after this point of time, this person has gone very extrovert and very outgoing towards his thinking process. And any point of time, you will find this line to be getting self-repaired, but narrowing the quadrangle. So this would just indicate that no matter the matter of his head, his logics have been preserved, but now this person has become very reclusive, very private and very secretive in his thinking process. So this is the case with the self-repaired breaks. Now some smaller signs which are symbol of square. As you know, square in palmistry represents protection, preservation. So wheresoever you have found the symbol of square on the headline, this would just preserve the significations of the headline. And let's say if there is a defect and square is protecting it, so this is just acting as a repair sign. But let's say square symbol is found where there is no defect. So this would just strengthen the qualities of the headline at that point of time. So that is the case with the symbol of square. Next is the sister lines. Sister lines are, so this is our headline. Let's say it has got island. So the headline is afflicted with a defective sign, which is the sign of an island. And any point of time, along with that, adjacent to that main headline, you will find these kind of lines. So these lines act as a sister line to the headline. So now the case would again remain the same. At the time of defect, these sister lines would act as a savior, would act as a repair sign to the afflicted headline. And let's say if there is no sign of affliction, the headline is running smooth, and along with that, on that smooth headline, you will find adjacent to that headline a sister line. So in that case, this sister line would act as a strengthening agent to that headline, hence strengthening the signification of headline, improving intelligence, improving mental acumen, having good memory, good intelligence. So this would remain to the time when a person would use his imagination, use his thinking process in a very intellectual, in a very heightened way. So this is how these lines get decoded. So we have discussed the sister lines. Now the next in the series is the signs of triangle. So like the way I have been telling in all my videos, every sign, every symbol has one archetype meaning assigned to it. Like the way symbol of square means protection. Wheresoever in the palm you will have any kind of affliction, but on that, if you will have a symbol of square, it would just preserve the that signification and just avert the happening of that affliction which a negative sign could put in someone's life. So same is the way the symbol of triangle is seen as a sign of intelligence, sign of mental acumen, and sign of brilliance. So any point of time you will find this kind of symbol of triangle on the headline. So this would indicate good mental qualities, scientific bent of mind, heightened mental prowess, and along with that, this also indicates, this is also sign of wealth. Like the way I've assigned this thing, and I've been mentioning this thing in all my videos, that the sign of symbol of triangle is specifically assigned to the signs of attaining good wealth. So this is how the sign of triangle can be seen as. And the last in the series is the connecting lines. So what do I mean by connecting lines? So let's say, for example, any point of time there is a break in the line, but this break is being connected via this form by a connecting line. So like the way we have been associating this whole concept of lines with electric wires, so same way you can see there was a break in the line, but that break did not let the current go lost just because of this connecting line. This has keep the circuit connected. So this is how connecting lines can be seen as. So if in any case you will find any break in the headline, but that break is being connected via a connecting line, so that would just preserve the signification of the headline. So these all are the signs which you needed to be aware of if you want to learn palmistry and if you want to understand this concept of headline to the core. So this is how analysis is done, and like the way I've been mentioning this thing all across in this series of headline, that this headline is very important because it tells about your mental abilities, your intelligence, your way of thinking. So apart from other ways of strengthening your headline, making a balanced state, putting your thinking process in a balanced state, so you can do meditation. And apart from that, there is one specific hand position which has been assigned and advised in palmistry, is that you need to just join the tips of the index finger and the thumb of both hands, and then you need to meditate. So this would improve your concentration ability, and this would automatically improve the condition of your headline, because our lines on our hand get written by our mind only. Like the way I even mentioned this thing in order to improve your lifeline. So the hand position is that you need to join your little and ring finger with the thumb, and then you need to meditate. So same is the way in headline. If you want to strengthen your headline along with meditation, you can also do this hand position while meditating or while sitting in a lotus position, joining the tip of your thumb and index finger. So I hope I made myself very clear in this video. For further more updates and notification on Palmistry, please subscribe my channel and like my Facebook page. Thanks.